to listen me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Can you see the screen, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Today we are going to discuss about the foreign trade. This is the last chapter which we are going to discuss. Now, what is the foreign trade? A foreign trade is an exchange of goods across the nation boundaries, which we are going to distribute from one country to another country. All the goods and services which are going to be taking place at the different countries between them, maintaining the good relationship and having a good trade friendliness among the countries. So this is called a foreign trade. And what are the principles of this foreign trade, or different economists? What they have been mentioned is that Professor J.L. Hansen said that an exchange of trade specialized commodities and the services rendered among the corresponding countries is known as a foreign trade, and different authors have been given in different method that this is a foreign trade. But generally, to have a good relationship, to maintain the world peaceness, a foreign trade not only helps in maintaining the relationship, but also it helps in the economic growth of the countries also. So when we talk about the foreign trade, some of the nations which they are having the excess of the goods or the products in their country, they export to the other countries, and the countries which are in having a scarcity of those products will import, etc. Vice versa, which is going to be taken place in the foreign country. Then coming to the India, when we have been started the foreign trade. See, generally when we talk about the foreign trade, India has started the foreign trade in the ancient times only, because we have done the foreign trade with the Portuguese, Dutch, and even with the Britishers. The foreign trade has been started, and years together, as these persons have done trade with the foreign with country like in India, and we also have been lost many things, precious like Kohinoor, diamond, etc. At the time of leaving the country, they have been taken resources, etc. Everything, but the main objective of this foreign trade is to build the relationship and maintain the world peace among the countries, and also to build the economic development of those countries. Now, what are the different types of foreign trade we have? We have different types of foreign trade, that is import, export, re-export. Now, what is import? Import is the things where we are getting goods from the other countries is called an import. For example, we are bringing the technology from USA or UK, whatever it is, we are importing all those technological goods or technology, that is called an import. What the other thing is export, where domestic country like India, which is selling rice, paddy, sugarcane, etc. to other countries. Just in Japan, China, like Singapore, where it is selling to the other countries, it is called export. When we are importing the goods, when we are bringing the goods from the other countries, it is called an import. So, import is bringing goods to the domestic country. Export means selling the goods from the domestic country to the other countries is called an export. So, what is a re-export? When the goods are imported from a foreign country and again it has been re-exported to the other countries, it is called a re-export. For example, we are having a scarcity of rice, for example, and we bought from the UK. So we asked for 100 tons of wheat to import to our country. So when the wheat have been imported to our country, at that particular time or a period of time, India also having the greater yield of wheat. So now we are not needed the wheat products. So now what we have done, that we exported to the other country which is being needed. For example, we have been exported to Sri Lanka. So that is called a re-export. What we are importing, the goods same without using them, again we are re-exporting to the other country. That is called a re-export. Means first we have to import, then we have to export. So that is called a re-export. So we have a different types of foreign trade, that is import, export, and re-export. Now, the reason for the importance of foreign trade, why we need a foreign trade, because division of labor, because as the division of labor in the world level, it is indifferent, because we have an abundant natural resources and the human resources also, as India is ranking now in the first populated country among the world countries. So when we talk about this, we have a huge division of labor, specialized persons in different area. For example, if you just take Singapore, Japan, etc., they are technically very well developed countries. They know having a specialized knowledge in the technology like that. And the other countries which they have the human resources, different types of resources which we can get by having the foreign trade. That is the division of labor and specialization, optimum allocation of utilization of resources. See, whatever the resources are available in those countries, without wasting the resources, everything that we are going to be used, maximum utilization of resources at the national level or international level has to be done taken place. So optimum allocation and utilization of resources is going to be taken place. Equality of prices. Prices can't be stabilized. See, the price rate of gold is going to be different in India. The price rate of is going to be different in Dubai or USA, UK. It is going to be in different. So to make equalizes the prices. See, when you take 30 years, 40 years back, there was a different rate in worldwide. But now they are making to stabilize, to equalize the prices among the world. So that is going to be one of the helpful for the during the period of foreign trade. Why? Because according to the currency rate, they are going to stabilize the prices in different countries. So that is another thing, equality of the prices. Facilitate the economic development. See, the countries which are don't have a foreign revenue income. So now this foreign trade, we having a good relationship, exporting and importing the goods, which is not only the economic growth of the country, but also it is going to be helpful and it is going to be facilitate for the economic development of the country. And availability of multi-choices. As it is a foreign trade, you will be buying the different kinds of goods, etc., standard of goods or quality of goods, etc. It provides you have a better choices. See, if it is a monopoly, means where it is in the market when you have only one variety of a product at only in one single shop, then you will have a more demand for that product. When you have a multiple choices and multiple varieties or new varieties all over the where these products are going to be attracted and sales are going to huge sales are going to be taken place, because abundant manufacture is going to be taken place. Sellers are there, more sellers are there, and because as it is being the market is being spread at entire world, or means automatically the buyers also will be the huge numbers also. So hence you will have not only one choice, you have a different varieties of choices and standard of goods, or the quality of goods is going to be differ. Why? Because as the competition between the producing the same kinds of products from one country to another country, they'll have such a competition that this country has to maintain certain standards, etc. So as it is going for a foreign trade, or as we are attracting the foreign customers, so we have to maintain the foreign standards and ensure that the quality should not be should not be avoid, should not be give a chance to a customer to point out about the quality. The quality should be fine and better, where it can be a marketability. And not only that, when once we are going to enter into a foreign trade, automatically the standard of living of the people is going to be increased. Why? Because as we are having a variety of goods and services, etc., we are going to buy different products, etc. And see, in the 20 years, 30 years back, the foreign relatives who are there in the foreign countries, we used to wait for them. What type of goods they are going to bring to us, etc., as a gifts, etc. Nowadays, it's not like this. Whatever you want to buy, you can buy, because it is being available. As in the process of the globalization, the world has become a small village. You can buy on online, etc., Amazon, Flipkart, indifferent. Because as the income level of the individual has been increased, automatically the standard of living is also going to be increased. And it also generates the employment opportunities. How it is going to be generate the employment opportunity? Because the mobility of the labor and the resources has been spread entire world. Now we suppose if a foreign company is invested in Indian companies, they need the land, they need the labor, they need the resources, etc. So when they are going to establish the multinational companies in the domestic countries, foreign companies, when they come to the domestic countries, like India is our domestic country, when they come and then they are going to start a multinational company, our people, our citizens gets more opportunities of employment opportunities. When a person is being employed or now what happens automatically his income is going to be increased. When his income is going to be increased, his standard of living is also going to be increased. So that is, and it is not only that, it is also assistance during the natural calamities. During the natural calamities, the earthquakes like floods, famines, affected to the country face of the problems. At that time, foreign trade enables to import the grains and medicines. You see, at the COVID time, we have been exported medicines to the other countries, etc. Because to maintain a good relationship, this foreign trade is going to be helpful. Maintain the balance of payment position. Every country has to maintain the balanced payment of position. Because what is the balanced payment of position means exports and imports. See, generally that country should have more exports than the imports. If a country is having a more exports, the country is in balance payment is in surplus. If the country is having more imports, less exports, then the balance payment is deficit. So now how we have to maintain the minimum balance payment of position and bring a goodwill in the international market. See, any of the countries, for example, if it is the products of Japan and Singapore, the quality of the goods are going to be a good. When you compare to the China goods, they say it's not a good. Once you use, again you have to throw it. Again, no reusable, it's not going to be taken place. But the other countries, no, the quality plays very, very important role in the international markets. So to bring a reputation, it helps a goodwill in the country. And the main thing is already I said that we have to maintain when we have a good relationship among the countries. We don't fight, we maintain harmony and we promote world peace. Because as the transfer of technology, etc., now their communication has become very speed and very fast, and within the seconds, what is happening in the world, everything is going to be known to the entire world. So hence, to maintain the world peace, that foreign trade is going to be helpful. Now, what are the features of a foreign trade in export and import? See, already I explained about what is export and what is import. Export is the domestic country which is going to send the goods from our country. That is, if India is a domestic country, we are sending the goods to the foreign country. That is called an export. Import is what we are importing from the other countries, like USA, UK, etc. What we are importing, what we are bringing goods to our country is called the import. Now, what are the features of this foreign country? See, import dependency, it is going to be taking place. Import capital goods and industrial goods, what we bring. Exports means water, according to that. Export the ready-made garments, etc. Or export the agriculture raw material like wheat, sugar, rice, etc. Unfavorable balance of the payment, more imports but less. Already I said we have two types of balances. One is favorable balances, unfavorable balances. Favorable balances means we have more exports and less in imports. When we having unfavorable balances of payment means we have more imports but less exports. So depending upon the exports and the imports, the country positions in the international market can be decided whether it's a favorable, having a favorable balance of payment, or it is having an unfavorable balance of the payments. So operate most of the business by the seas and ocean. So whatever the goods we are going to send to abroad or whatever the goods are coming to our country, the business transactions naturally will be taken place because huge quantity of the goods are going to be exchanged from one country to another country or being transported from one country to another country. The means of the transportation generally will be the sea and ocean only. Because you can't send the goods in the flight. Okay, the minimum things goods which you can send to the flight by whatever. But most of the goods of huge big goods are going to come to this sea and ocean only. more import from the Asia, China, Singapore, and India, and export is in Western countries like USA, England, it is going to be taking place. Government initiative and control, which is going to be taken place, the foreign trade policies, etc., or which is going to be helpful for the government, etc. The export of the jute and jute goods, the gun bags, etc., everything, exporting of manpower. See, people who are going to Dubai for the work, etc. Not only the Dubai and our Indian people who work in abroad also, like USA, USSR, Singapore, China, different countries, Indian people are working in abroad. So exporting not only the industrial goods, but also agricultural goods, manpower, and all the things. The private initiative, generally the persons who want to go for abroad, now they go for the consultancy and they meet them, and these are going to be taken place. It means that is they send to their consultancy to the foreign countries where the need manpower is required, in which country it is required, either technology type of manpower is or a labor type manpower. Depending upon the what type of manpower is being used, they are going to export the manpower also. So the diversity of the goods, import of the goods is that is generally people who import the goods, if the country is going to import the goods, it may be necessary and compulsory. If a private person who are going to import the goods, it will be luxurious goods or whatever. See, the foreign trade is a free trade economy which is being made between the two countries, and all the businesses are being transacted. It is nothing but a foreign trade is connecting people to entire world only. Not only one country is being connected. So suppose if India is there, India is not doing that within its own domestic area. It is also doing, it is connecting the people throughout the world, not only one USA, entire world it is being connected. Means as the business is going to be spread by the Indian companies or Indian government to entire world, means it is nothing but connecting the people to the way of business mode. Now coming to the problems in the foreign trade. Now what are the problems are there in the foreign? Most of the issues that can face is international trade only. One of the things is as the distance is more, excuse me, I just tried some water. So the most important issues that where international market, international trade or market, whatever it is called, which it is going to be said, that is the distances. Between a long distances of different countries, it is very difficult to have a trade between them, because if you are a neighbor, immediately we can exchange the goods or whatever. But whereas the distance for a buyers and sellers, rarely they meet and they exchange, they have a personal contact. Sometimes it may be having the communication gap regarding the placing an order or misusing of receipts, whatever it is going to be taken place. So that is where the basic problems of distance. And another thing is different languages, because as our language, national language is different, so the other persons which country which you are doing the trade, they may not have their national language in English. They have a different Spanish, German, English, different kinds of languages are there, many types of languages are there in the entire world. So with what type of country you are doing? Suppose if you are doing a trade with Japan. Now we don't know the Japanese languages, so it's a different, and it's a very difficult to understanding the feelings, and it's very difficulty for bargaining the things also. So that is another problem to do the foreign trade. That is a different language. The difficulty in transportation is communication. See, at the time of dispatching of the goods and etc. For now, what happened during the time of war or during time of natural calamities like coronavirus, etc., or during time of a bad relation between, suddenly a bad relation between the countries. Now, what happened? It becomes a difficult with the transportation or communication in those countries who are doing the trade. And the risk in transportation. See, foreign goods that travels, the goods generally go by a long period, so long distances, and the mode of transportation either it's going to be by sea or by the airways. So suppose if any floods or tsunami which comes, the entire goods are going to be in a risk and it is going to be damaged. So that is risk in transport is going to be taken place. And another thing is lack of information about the foreign business, because as we don't have a good means we don't have a communication or information what type of goods can be sold to the foreign countries, what we can export, etc. Because we don't have that much of knowledge regarding the information about the foreign business. Only few people will have. So see, local people is having a good craftsmanship, or they are having a good indoor crop, but they could not send for the other countries, the country which is needed. Why? Because they don't know about the how to do foreign trade, etc. That is another reason. As this has been enticed by the brokers or the middlemen, they are becoming richer than not the farmers or who's producing those goods. Import and export restriction. Every country charges the customs duties on its imports to protect the home industry. Yes, either we are going to import or export. Suppose if we are going to export, we are going to have to pay the customs duties on the import and export, because that to control more imports or to get whatever these tariff rates are to maintain some duties to that particular countries where we are going to be import or where we are going to export, etc. Certain formalities which is based upon the foreign trade policy and procedures rules. On that basis of that, every country has some restrictions of importing and exporting of the goods. And generally, whether the means of transportation is either by the seaway or by the airway, documentation is compulsory, bill of lading, etc. All these are going to be taken place, that both exports and the importers have to prepare several documents at the time of paying money or importing the goods, at the reserving their goods at the warehouses, etc. Such a documentary process will be very lengthy process which is going to be taken place. And study of foreign marketers. Every foreign marketers has its own type of requirement of customs, rates, measures, marketing methods. An extensive study of foreign markets is essentially to succeed in the foreign trade. It is to collect the accurate. Generally, what happens in the foreign market, the customers have to get the information about what is the need in the international market, what spaces is the international market. That a foreign international traders has to be educated on that area. If they are being educated on that area, then we can get more revenue. The country can earn more revenue. That is the most important. That the countries have to be identify the international market, what the customer need, what is the scarcity of the goods at that particular time of period, etc. That when it can be catched by those countries, that country will economically will be developed. So problems in payments. Every country has its own currency and it's having its own value. So now what the fluctuations of the currency values may change according to the World Bank or according to the different factors which is going to be taking place in the world. So these payments, how they are going to be paid, whether they are going to send the money or what in the currency, their currency they are sending, or they are converting the convertibility rupee is going to be taking place. So all these are the certain problems which when you are going to do a foreign trade. And the market is changes always the market going on changing depending upon the demand and supply, etc., or depending upon the demand of the product in that particular country or not, suppose. So frequent market changes, because as it is an international market, you don't have a stability of market for a long period of time. Frequently it is going to changing, and changing of the exchange rates, changing of the international rates, etc., rate charges, etc. All these are going to be changing according to the international rules and regulations and things which are going to be taken place. Cultural differences. See, as each and every country has their own language, the culture also is being different. See, our culture is being different, the foreign culture is being different, etc. The globalization system, which during the period of the corona time, everyone has saw the towards India only. Why? Because the culture which we have been adopted by keeping namaste, etc. Now everyone no shake hand, etc. Especially in the period of corona time, no shake hand, no physical touch, etc. Everything when the conditions were set, everything. Means once upon a time they used to be laugh at India, their culture because of our culture is little bit of difference, everything. We don't touch the people. It was a thing, and they used to laugh at Delhi. But now the world is seeing towards India because the culture is Delhi. But even though at the time of the process of doing an international trade, the culture of the different country is going to be in different ways. So to enrich, we have to learn about the culture to work. If you want to be continually into the international business, you have to adopt and digest the culture of the international also. Managing the global team. See, another challenge of international business is how you manage the employees all over the world. because you have different kinds of problems, the culture problem, communication problem, and the other types of problems which is going to be taken place. So it's a thing how you are going to be maintain the global change, etc. When you want to talk with your foreign employees also, in what language, suppose if they don't know English and you know English, then how the communication, how the language barriers are going. This is are going to be played barriers to the for the foreign trade. Now, currency exchange and inflation rates. The value of the dollar, if any country is going to be increased or decreased, is going to be taken place. You see, our country now the dollar is 80 rupees, so you can't go for an exchange or whatever it is going to be taken place because the rate of the value of the rupee day by day it is decreasing as the dollar value is going to be increasing. So these are the certain foreign policy, rules, regulations, everything, laws, if you do anything, if you never paid the custom duties or whatever the within a period of time, punishments, fines, etc. All these are going to be taking place. Means nuisance of the foreign politics, policies and the relations which is going to be taking place. Now coming to the balance of payments. Now what is the balance of payment? The balance of payment is a statement files to all the transactions between the entities of the countries which is going to be taking place. Now what is the balance payment? So when we think about the balance of payment, that is our exports should be more than the imports. So that is called a balance of payment because a country should get more revenue. How a country is going to get a more revenue when it exports more goods to the foreign countries and it imports less goods from the foreign country, then country is having a balance of payment. So this specify the countries that it should not exceed or a story of the funds. It is gives an indication of whether the country exports more than import or vice versa, then the balance of payment transaction can be split. So generally, we all I said that is balance of deficit and balance of surplus. Balance of deficit which is going to be taken place when we import more goods from the foreign countries, then balance of payment of deficit we are going to have. When a country is going to export more goods to the foreign countries, then the balance of payment is surplus. So it depends upon how a balance payment is going to be controlled by the countries, and it also depends upon that particular economic situation of the country also. Now, what are the different types of balance payments we have? See, the balance payments which is being divided into different types. That is current account. This current account stands at incoming and outgoings of goods and services between the countries. Means, which we call as gross national products, where the goods and services which is going to be taken place outside the countries also. But for example, if I take a multinational company in America, so my even if I started a company in America, my whatever the goods and services I'm doing there, but the revenue, the funds will go to India only. So means my GNP, the gross national product which is there, which does not, you don't use that amount for that particular country's development or whatever it is. I use the development of my own country, my domestic country. So hence, the incoming, outgoing of goods and service countries, all the payments made either by the raw material or the construction of goods covered under this account. And the other things of like from tourism, engineering, stock, business services, transportation, and royalties from the license and copy. All these combined together makes a balance of payments. So balance of payments, which is going to be that you should be able to balance your country's own economy, not falling in risk. If more imports you are going to be, you have to pay more revenue, more money, capital to that country. So hence, it is an outflow in goods and services between the countries. That is, your inflow is more or outflow is. If more outflow is there, okay, then the country is going to have a good reserves of money. If the country's inflow is more, means the country is not having a balanced payment system. So this is a different current account which says. Now, what is the capital account? The capital transaction like purchase and sales of assets like lands, fixed assets, which we call as fixed assets when we buy like land, machinery, properties, or whatever, when we are going to start either in the countries which that is also the flow of taxes or acquisition of sale of fixed assets, immigrating, move or to a different countries, etc. The shortage, the deficit of the current account governed by the financial, means all these types of things which are going to be. So I want to buy a land in the foreign, foreign country, sorry, and the foreign companies which are going to start in an Indian country, they want to buy the land or property, whatever. So generally, this type of things are going to be monitored under the capital account only, because the major investment which is going to be taken place for buying any type of asset, the capital account is going to be opened by that particular country. And what it is going to be taken place? See, when we think about the capital account, there are the three major elements of the capital account. That is loan and borrowings, that which we bring loans or which we borrow, or we give loan to the other countries and we borrow from things, that is loans and borrowings, investments, whether we are investing in stocks, either India or non-residents or in different companies which we are going to have in foreign exchange reserves, which is being held by the central bank, that is Reserve Bank is going to be acted as a monitor. These are things. Now coming to the financial account. The financial account is the various investments which is being made by the country in the case of real estate, business, ventures, foreign direct investment, which is going to be taken place. See, we have a different types of investment. That is a foreign direct investment where we are going to invest in the foreign countries or the foreign companies is coming to our country investing. And the other thing is foreign portfolio management. Foreign portfolio management where we are investing in the company shares or buying the bonds, etc. See, these are going to be maintained gold bonds, etc. Stocks, equity, which is called as a foreign portfolio management. Or foreign portfolio institution, FPI, or which we call it as FDI, foreign direct investments, where which are going to be invested. So these are going to be maintained by the financial account, which is going to be maintained, that how much are coming, how much are going into. For example, when we think about it's an example in the year, the value of export of goods which is being made by the our country is, we have been exported 80 lakhs, but we imported 100 crores of the goods worth value. Now what happened? 20 crores or 20 lakhs which is going to be having, since we are having a deficit, means balance of payment of deficit, and this economic indicator shows that country is going to in a greater problem, financial problem, or a deficit which is going to be taken place, as it is facing the trade deficit. So hence it has to be awakened and it has to take a proper action to set the balance of payment. Now the importance of the balance of payment. A balance of payments is an essential document or a transaction in a finance department. It gives the status of a country and its economy. Generally, any country's balance of payment tells about what is the position of that country. For example, when we talk about the balance sheet in our accounts, now when we see about the assets and liabilities, now the assets and the balance sheet tells about the company's financial position. In the same way also, balance of payment tells about the country's financial position of economic system of that country is going to be there. So now we are how the balance of payment is going to be examined, how it is going to be done. Already I have said there should be more exports to be there, less important goods and services to be there for a specific period of things. And government helps to analyze the potentiality of the industrial development. Government see in a greater perspective about the increasing and decreasing of taxes to encourage or to discourage the imports. For example, if you are going to import any goods from the foreign companies, if the government is going to impose more taxes, immediately we stop importing the goods. Suppose if the government is exporting the goods and the less income tax is there, then we export. Now, why this is when we are importing more taxes, when we are exporting less taxes, because to encourage or to build the economic development of the country, such type of tax is going to be encouraged or discouraged by the countries. Now, what is the current account deficit and trade deficit? When we talk about the terms of current account deficit and trade deficit, is often used as an interchangeable thing, but they are different in the nature, etc. Everything. It has a trade deficit when we spend more on import than an exports, then we call it the trade deficit. And the nation's current account deficit is a broader measure that the trade deficit it is almost a large component because a part of trade is deficit only we are going to be calculated about the current account deficit. Current account deficit but includes other numbers such as foreign aid, international investments, etc., which is going to be taken place in the current account. See, generally, our foreign capital, how it has been divided? Foreign capital, it has been divided into foreign aid. Now, foreign aid, we have foreign where we are going to get a grant by the different countries. See, when a grant is being given by a country, they don't again ask to repay back the debt amount, whatever the grant which is being given to that country. For example, India has granted for Sri Lanka during its resistance period or whatever it has been granted 100 crores rupees. So when we have been given 100 crores rupees to Sri Lanka, again we should not expect that Sri Lanka has to repay that debt because we have been given a financial aid to that country, foreign aid to that country. Since in the terms of grants they have been given. Suppose if we have given a borrowings to that country or a loan to that country, then we can ask with interest the repay that loan amount. Again, the other type is investment. Investment can be taken place either in terms of foreign direct investment or portfolio investment. So this portfolio investment, it is going to be made either through the way of buying the shares, bonds, debentures, etc., which is going to be taking place. And foreign direct investments, where the countries are going to come to the our country and investing, starting the multinational companies, etc., which is going to be taking place. So these all being calculated in the current account, where trade deficit only has to see about the income and outgoing or exports, imports of that particular country. So that is how it is going to be taken place regarding the current account deficit and trade deficit. Now, what is the trade deficit when we calculate it? Is that is a trade deficit is a nation's imports more items or services that is will sell a value. Trade balances is that is imports minus exports, which is going to be calculated, you get it. Suppose if it is a negative that the country is having a trade deficit, whether it is a positive that country is in is having a good market or a positive market, which is being financially benefited, economically growing market in the international market. So India is a country which is the highest export deficit. Means export deficit means we don't exporting goods as that much of as imports what we are exporting, because in year 2021 our export was 2,290 crores only, because as we have done less exports. See, when a country is having a less exports, then it has to face the financial problems or the trade deficit. There are the two causes to have a trade deficit. Domestic product isn't sufficient to meet the demands because whatever the domestic product which we are producing, it is not for our useful. It is not sufficient for our useful only. When it is not sufficient for our useful only, then how we can export the goods to the other countries? So, for example, the input of crude oils, pulses, edible oils, enough domestic supply only. That we have to meet only domestic supply only, because as the population is very high in a country like India, so domestic supply only they are going to have more demand. So we don't have that much of goods to export. So hence our export deficit is going to be. Next, consumers' preference for the imported goods. See, as the consumers are being more much concentrating on importing the goods of latest technology as which is going to be taken. So that is another thing which made the trade deficit. That is the two conditions. As we are having the domestic supply, which the domestic supply only not meeting the our demands only. Another thing is customers are more interested in importing the goods. These are 2 points which made the trade deficits. The advantages of the trade deficit is a trade deficit is the obvious advantage to allow the nations consume more than its produces. See, generally what happens, trade deficits is that is it is obviously advantage following nations to consume. Generally, any country which is going to having more goods which you are not needed. See, suppose if you go to a shopping mall, you think that you want to buy a particular thing, but by seeing the other goods which you have been attracted and you going on buying. Now what happened? Unnecessary things also we buy when we go to a shopping mall. So that also helps with imbalances, and the other countries which is having a shortage of goods and other economic issues, they run in shortage. So the floating of exchange rates, etc., pressure of low currency, which makes a trade deficit also. Now, disadvantages of trade deficit long term, where suppose if it is a more too much, if it is a short term, okay, we can recoup and we can understand. See, at the time of Corona, it has taught us what that we have to go for saving. Even the same thing, advantage of trade deficit tells about the country. Don't misuse the goods. Don't waste the goods because you have to face these types of problems. That one of the advantages of trade deficits. But at the same time, disadvantage, we should not have over greedy or we should not be buying the things or etc. which is not useful thing. So that tells about the trade deficits. Now, what are the methods to reduce the trade deficit? Reducing the consumption of boosting savings. The trade deficits tells, especially during the period of Corona time, it has taught lesson to not only country like India, for many people in the world, it has taught that savings is the most important due to the financial crisis or due to the emergencies. These savings only help. So hence boosting the savings, consumption of taxes, consumption of tax means increasing more taxes on import and less taxes on exports, etc. And depreciating the currency rates, etc. All these are going to be taken place. Now, balance of trade is at already explained. That is, they should have a balance of trade, that is, exports should be more than the imports. So, generally, people are going to be imports now out of social status. One of the reasons is that we are having so good. Even cars are also going to be imported, etc. See, when you are going to buy a car in a foreign company, when it has been imported, it is thinking more than the value what you purchase the goods. So hence balance trade. Now what the government is doing that they are going to give more taxes on the imports what we are going to import the goods and less for the exports. So this is the how current account which is going to be calculated on. See, the trade balances plus any other payments across the borders, a positive traded balance surplus. Already I said, if you have more exports, you have a trade balances. If you have less exports, with more imports, you have trade imbalances, which is going to be which is going to disturb the economy of that country and the government also. How to calculate it? The formula is X minus M is equal to TB. That is exports minus imports is equal to trade balances, which is going to be taken place. See, the goods, the exports in goods or services made domestically are sold to a foreign country. When more foreigners are buying, etc., then we get more revenue. When it is not buying, we only importing the goods, then the country is going to be a financial crisis. See, the unfavorable balances. We have two types of balances. Just okay, unfavorable. We have two types of balance of payment, favorable balances and unfavorable balances. Favorable balances where exports are more and imports are less, we call it a favorable balance. Unfavorable balances where we are spending more on the imports and less on exports. Now, what is the effective? Suppose if it is unfavorable balance, are they what we have to spend? That is the different spending which is going to take addition in imports, slow of growth of production, less exports, which is being taken place and affect the inflation rate because the prices increases. When once the prices increases, the balance of payment will become an unfavorable. Now, causes for the unfavorable balance of payment. The import of what is the reasons? What are the causes? That is where we are importing the machinery, importing the war equipment, more demand for the goods, expenditure of the foreign goods, etc., increasing the imports. These make the causes for the unfavorable balances. The differences between the balance of payment deficit and balance of payment surplus is already said. Balance of payment surpluses, the country exports more than its input, country provides enough capital to pay all the domestic products. A surplus boosts the economic growth and economic development of the country. When we come to the balance of payment of deficit, that the country's imports countries imports more goods, services, where we import more goods and services. We have borrowed from the different countries. We are facing a short-term economic growth, etc. As the consumption of that country, people is more, which is going to be taken. How to measure the correct equilibrium in the balance of the payment? That is, where we have to export permission and promotions of export, less imports, reducing the inflation rate, which means controlling the prices, etc. Exchange control, which has to be taken place. Now, what is a foreign exchange? A foreign exchange rate, which our country is going to be converted into the foreign country, which is going to be due. When we are doing that rate between the two countries, the currency will be different in one the other country, because our country is the rupee and the other country is the dollar, other country is the bonds, etc. Means at the international market, how we are going to face this? Whether you are going to do buying the products of the foreign company, importing the goods from the foreign, you are paying in terms of rupees or you are paying in terms of thing what. So hence international market provides the foreign exchange. That is way the rates means because the political, economical, psychological, it's been a different area, and how the currency has been exchanged, what is the value of the currency which is going to be taken. So types of exchange of system, fixed exchange rate system, which is pegged with the exchange rate of system, and this is being rate is been referred as a system where the weaker currency of the two currencies question is pegged or tied to a stronger currency. See, suppose if one rupee is big, for example, we have been exported a goods. When we have been exported a goods, the KB rate according to that country we consider, and we import those means the currency is based upon. For example, if 20 rupees of brinjal is in India, now we don't sell it's 20 rupees in America. We sell for that is for 400. It is going to be here are the conversion of the rupee which is going to be taken as stabilizing only. Now, how the foreign exchange which is going to be taken exchange? Foreign exchange controls the various forms of control imposed by the government purchasing or sales of the foreign currencies by the residents. See, at the airports, when you want to change when you come to India, even at the airports only you can change your money, etc. The banks are going to be there for transferring also, etc. Everything which is having the exchange rate is going to be there. Suppose if you want to see, when you pay duty for your exam, they ask for the exchange. Means it's 10, 25 rupees. Why they take for the services what they render, the same loan. So now what is the foreign exchange market? The foreign exchange market, which is going to be foreign brokers will be there to convert your rupee into market, commercial banks are there, especially in international we have a per picking where we are going to be taken place, that is in case of commercial banks and other legitimate dealers and monetary authorities, which help you to play as a business players in the international market. The demand for the foreign exchange, people demand for the foreign exchange because they want to buy the commodities and services from the other nations. So they want to change the currency, etc. The supply of foreign exchanges, which is going to be taken by the foreign exchange brokers or whoever it is, the exchange. The foreign exchange rate is depending upon the rate is the cost of the price of that particular one country. What is the price of that? Generally, it is going to be have the currency convertibility. Generally, the world which is having is dollars only. It is the standard thing of the foreign exchange, which you can convertibility of rupee or whatever it is going to be taken place. In case of convertibility, dollar plays the standard thing. Meaning of the currency convertibility. What is the exact meaning when we talk about the currency convertibility? Means by convertibility in the currency, we mean the currency of a country can be freely converted into foreign exchange at an international market at a rate of an exchange. Because your rupee has to be converted into dollar, dollar has to convert into bonds, bonds has to convert into rupee. So vice versa, whatever it is there, that it has to be conversion. So that is what we call the currency conversion. So types of currency convertibility, current account convertibility. Again, we have current account convertibility, capital account. Current account convertibility allows the residents to receive the trade-related payments, like receiving the foreign currency for exports, etc., or what are the goods rendered or services made to pay the foreign currency, etc. And it is going to be a free flow of a capital. When we talk about the current account convertibility, it's popularly defined freedom to buy or sell the foreign exchanges. It is an international transaction consisting of payments with the connection with the foreign trade or goods and services, which is going to be taken place at a specific period of time. Payment is going to be paid on the basis of the convertibility of the currency, etc., depending upon the country. For example, if it is Japan, according to the currency convertibility, it is going to be converted into our rupee is going to convert into dollar is converted into pound, etc. It is going to be taken place. So capital account convertibility. Capital account convertibility would mean a freedom of currency conversion in relation to the capital transaction. What is the inflow? What is the outflow? How many bonds? See, when we are going to calculate 200 dollars, 200 lakhs dollars has been given to in a grant, or 200 lakhs which has been made as a foreign direct investment in that country, etc. So that is called as a capital account convertibility, where we are going to invest that in a country, either in way of land, building, etc. According to their currency, how much it has been invested, that it is going to be calculated on the basis of the capital account convertibility. So thank you very much for the foreign exchange, foreign trade which we have been taken place. Any doubts now in this regard? Do you have any doubts? Anyone is having any doubts regarding this? I could not catch your voice. It is lagging, ma'am. Voice is not clear. So with this, we end the Indian economy. Okay, see you.